Hey there, it's Trisha, and I want to go over the setups for today, Wednesday the 23rd on the NQ. I'll go over the NQ today, and I'll try to do another ES maybe over the weekend. But if you're interested in the setups, you can go to www.easyemintrade.com. We are using the new setup, and anybody who ever got the ebook should have a copy of that. And if you don't, just send me an email, and I will get it to you. So this is the NQ, and this is my broader view of the market here on the left, and I like to have an idea of what's going on overall in price. And this is a 1.5 point range chart. Right off the get-go, let's see what time that was, 9:31:45. You get an opportunity to take an entry short. Your indicator is turning red here, even though the line is already red. I did not take that, but somebody could have taken it, and obviously it worked out really well. Here's where I actually got in, was right here when it looked as though the histogram was getting larger in size again. Unfortunately, once I got in, got divergence to the upside, and some people, depending on where they got filled, got their first target. I did not get my first target, so I was stopped out on that. And I am going with the overall trend, and you can see it here, we're in a downtrend. And if we don't have any real decisive trend, then I'm taking it with the side of the moving average that price is trading on this 3,000 tick chart. And so here, there wouldn't really be anything to take. You have green and you have red here. Basically, conflict of information. Here, you have everything above the zero line. The line is above zero, the histogram above zero, but we're not above the moving average over here, so I'm not interested in that long. This is right around the news coming out at 10 right here. It's right at 10 actually, and everything's turning red. And somebody who might be interested in taking it, I know a couple people in the room took it regardless, and I don't have enough information to say that this setup will work well around the news. At first glance it appears to, but I definitely need more information before I make that determination for myself. And so right now I'm just compiling that information, and I'll decide once I have enough. But somebody took this. These bars form very quickly, and I believe the person that I'm thinking of got filled somewhere down here. Obviously it still worked out because it does move so fast, you're hitting a market order, and so obviously you're going to get filled wherever it's trading at that time. So he was filled down somewhere around here, and it worked out fine. Here was an opportunity to take a re-entry if it fit your plan, and that was at 10:06, and I passed on that because after this move here I felt like I just needed a bigger bounce in order to re-enter, bigger bounce or pullback, and I just didn't feel comfortable taking it. Regardless, it worked out just fine, and anybody who took it, it worked out. I entered here. This was at, what time was that? 10:23, 10:23 and change, and got in, everything turning red. We're below the moving average here, and I know that the previous low created intraday is right around that area, so I put my target right in the way of that for the second, third, and so got my first two targets on that, and it worked out just fine. This we took at, what time was that? 10:45, that general time frame. You actually have a setup here at 10:32, but you can see the bar here on the longer tick chart. It's right here, and at that point you're still in a downtrend, so I'm not interested in taking this at that point. I actually take this because it's on this bar here, and notice that we are trading above the 9-period weighted moving average. It is sloping higher, so I feel a little bit more comfortable in taking that at that point here rather than here. Obviously either worked. Somebody being more aggressive and willing to take the shot was more than happy at this, but like I said, I'm taking it with the trend. So I got in here, worked out for the first two targets, and if you are exiting in thirds, you may want to just put your final target just in the way of price. Totally up to you how you manage that. You don't have to exit in thirds. You can exit all in, all out. Totally up to you. And at this point it's lunch, and not interested in doing anything during lunch. Today was FOMC day, and I'm willing to trade in the morning on FOMC day, and then once the announcement comes out, once things quiet down. So not interested anything during lunch. I know some people will trade during that time, and fine, nothing really going on. These little setups while you're going sideways, I think, would yield you your first target, 2 points whenever it sets up. But again, risky just because of how quiet it usually gets on the FOMC day during lunch. This setup, if somebody took this here, obviously it worked out. Again, you'll have to decide based on your own risk tolerance what you're willing to do and not do. FOMC announcement came out at 2:15, and so just kind of bouncing around here, higher, lower, and nothing to really do with that. I'm not interested until it quiets down a little bit. This sets up at almost, I think it's at 227, and everything's turning green, and somebody being a little more aggressive would definitely take that and be happy to take it. I'm not willing to take it yet, and the reason is that this is what we're trading into, is right here. This is all the congestion that's created prior to this move higher. So if something set up above that and somebody wanted to take it, or they took this just anticipating that, hey, I might only get up to this previous area of resistance, it's totally up to them. I was not interested in it, and of course it worked out great regardless. I took this short, and it's actually on this bar here, and you'll notice that I have not traded below my moving average yet, but I'm willing to take it, and here's the reason why. It's actually on this bar here, and this bar at that point, price is very far away from our moving average here, and price will always find its way back to the moving average. So when you create a large distance between where price is and where the moving average is, usually you can expect price to find its way back there. So I took this as it was setting up here, all turning red, getting closed below the 2 moving averages here, in anticipation of that being my target. Yes, it was a risky trade, and called it as such in the room, and gave the reasons that I was willing to take it, and it worked out really great. Got my first 2 targets pretty easily, and then got a nice profit on that final target as well. Was able to trail it all the way down. Here, another setup, everything turning back to red, and I actually decreased my first target on that one in the event that I could only get back down to this area again, and got the first target and then stopped out at my entry. I was not interested in any longs at that point. Here, I actually didn't want to do anything more after this, and because it was a really great day and I just didn't want to give it back. But you had a setup here, and that was at a little after 3:05, and everything turning red. And if you wanted to wait to get below the area of support created when you look to your left, and you can see it on the 3000 tick chart, it was created intraday, you'd be entering in right here on this bar. And this area here is an area of support that we put on our chart first thing this morning, and it actually held up all day as a support and resistance area. That's where this blue line is here. Resistance, support, support. So somebody taking that would likely have that as their target, and they actually get their first two targets out of that. And anything else that you did would have been after 3:30, and totally up to you and your plan, what you're willing to do. So I hope that helps. If you like more information on the setups, you can check them out at www.easyemintrade.com. And if you have any questions, give me a shout via email, and I will try to do a webinar maybe after the 4th of July on this setup, and you might find that helpful as well.